The Clintons have grasped purple to stamp the dispatch of a shading unrest in America to remove control from Donald Trump after Hillary's wonderful annihilation in the decision. The endeavor has been financed by none other than mannequin ace George Soros, who knows some things about purple unrests. Through strategic culture defeated Democratic presidential hopeful Hillary Rodham Clinton isn't going to go unobtrusively into that great night. On the morning after her shocking and unforeseen annihilation on account of Republican Party upstart Donald Trump, Mrs. Clinton and her significant other, previous President Bill Clinton, went into the ballroom of the Workmanship Deco New Yorker Inn in Midtown Manhattan and were both enhanced in purple attire. The press promptly saw the shading and asked what it spoke to. Clinton representatives guaranteed it was to speak to the meeting up of Democratic Blue America and Republican Red America into a unified purple mix. This announcement was an entire trick, as is known by nationals of nations focused in the past by the despicable political operations of worldwide support stock investments big shot George Soros. The Clintons, who both have gotten a great many dollars in crusade commitments and Clinton Foundation gifts from Soros, were, truth be told, propelling Soros' Purple Revolution in America. The Purple Revolution will oppose all endeavors by the Trump Organization to push back against the globalist strategies of the Clintons and prospective ex-President Barack Obama. The Purple Revolution will likewise look to make the Trump Organization a short one through Soros-style road descents and political interruption. It is far-fetched that President Trump's helpers will prompt the new president to do a diversionary criminal examination of Mrs. Clinton's private email servers and different issues identified with the exercises of the Clinton Foundation, particularly when the country faces such a significant number of other problems that need to be addressed, including employment, movement, and medicinal services. In any case, House Oversight and Government Reform Committee Chairman Jason Chaffetz said he will proceed with hearings in the Republican-controlled Congress on Hillary Clinton, the Clinton Foundation, and Mrs. Clinton's helper Huma Abedin. President Trump ought not enable himself to be occupied by these endeavors. Chaffetz was not one of Trump's most faithful supporters. America's globalists and interventionists are as of now pushing the image that since such huge numbers of foundation and settled-in national security and military experts contradicted Trump's appointment, Trump is required to approach them to join his organization on the grounds that there are insufficient such experts among Trump's internal hover of counselors. Ruined neo-moderates from George W. Bramble's White House, for example, Iraq war co-schemer Stephen Hadley, are being said as somebody Trump ought to have joined his National Security Council and other senior positions. George H.W. Shrubb's Secretary of State James Baker, a hardcore Bush follower, is likewise being proffered as an individual from Trump's White House group. There is definitely no explanation behind Trump to look for the counsel from old Republican fossils like Baker, Hadley, previous Secretaries of State Rice and Powell, the insane person previous U.S. diplomat to the United Nations John Bolton, and others. There are a lot of Trump supporters who have an abundance of involvement in outside and national security matters, including those of African, Haitian, Hispanic, and Arab drop and who are not neocons, who can fill Trump's senior and center-level positions. Trump must separation himself from sudden well-wishing neocons, adventurists, warmongers, and interventionists and not allow them to plague his organization. On the off chance that Mrs. Clinton had won the administration, an article on the approaching organization would have perused as takes after. Based on the militarism and outside adventurism of her term as Secretary of State and her better half Bill Clinton's 2 terms as president, the world is in store for real American military hostility on various fronts far and wide. President-elect Hillary Clinton has made no mystery of her want to go up against Russia militarily, carefully, and monetarily in the Middle East, on Russia's exceptionally doorstep in Eastern Europe, and even inside the outskirts of the Russian Federation. Mrs. Clinton has cleaned off the since quite a while ago defamed regulation approach introduced impact by Professor George F. Kennan in The Result of World War. Mrs. Clinton's organization will probably advance the most strident neo-Cold Warriors of the Barack Obama organization, including Assistant Secretary of State for European and Eurasian Affairs Victoria Nuland, an undisputed top choice of Clinton. President-elect Trump can't stand to allow the individuals who are in an indistinguishable web from Newland, Hadley, Bolton, and others to join his organization where they would metastasize like a forceful type of growth. These people would not do Trump's arrangements but rather try to keep on damaging America's relations with Russia, China, Iran, Cuba, and different countries. Not exclusively should Trump need to manage Republican neocons endeavoring to worm their way into his organization, yet he should manage the endeavor by Soros to upset his administration in the United States with a purple revolution. No sooner had Trump been proclaimed the 45th leader of the United States, Soros-subsidized political operations propelled their exercises to upset Trump amid Obama's intermediary period and from there on. The quickness of the Purple Revolution is reminiscent of the speed at which nonconformists hit the lanes of Kiev, the Ukrainian capital, in two orange revolutions supported by Soros, one out of 2004 and the other, after 10 years, in 2014. As the Clintons were grasping purple in New York, road exhibitions, some brutal, all planned by the Soros-financed MoveOn.org and Black Lives Matter, softened out up New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Oakland, Nashville, Cleveland, Washington, Austin, Seattle, Philadelphia, Richmond, St. Paul, Kansas City, Omaha, San Francisco, and somewhere in the range of 200 different urban areas over the United States. The Soros-financed Russian singing gathering Pussy Riot discharged on YouTube a hostile to Trump music video titled "Make America Great Again." The video went viral on the internet. The video, which is indecent and loaded with savage acts, depicts a tragic Trump administration. Following the George Soros, Gene Sharp content to a T, Pussy Riot Nadia Tolokakova called for hostile to Trump Americans to transform their outrage into craftsmanship, especially music and visual workmanship. The utilization of political spray painting is a prominent Sharp strategy. The road descents and hostile to Trump music and workmanship were the main period of Soros' Purple Revolution in America. President-elect Trump is confronting a two-dimensional assault by his rivals. 1. Drove by settled and neocon officials, including previous Central Intelligence Agency and National Security Agency Executive Michael Hayden, previous Homeland Security Secretary Michael Chertoff, and Bush family supporters are looking to give orders on who Trump names to senior national security, insight, remote strategy, and safeguard positions in his organization. These neo-Cold Warriors are endeavoring to persuade Trump that he should keep up the Obama forcefulness and militancy toward Russia, China, Iran, Venezuela, Cuba, and different nations. The second front displayed against Trump is from Soros-subsidized political gatherings and media. This second line of assault is a promulgation war, using several hostile to Trump daily papers, sites, and supporters, that will look to undermine open trust in the Trump Organization from its beginning. One of Trump's political promotions, discharged only before Election Day, expressed that George Soros, Federal Reserve CEO Janet Yellen, and Goldman Sachs CEO Lloyd Blankfein, are all piece of a worldwide influence structure that is in charge of the monetary choices that have burglarized our common laborers, stripped our nation of its riches and put that cash into the pockets of a modest bunch of extensive companies and political entities. Soros and his flunkies promptly and absurdly assaulted the promotion as anti-Semitic. President Trump ought to be wary against the individuals who his crusade called out in the promotion and their associates. Soros' child, Alexander Soros, approached Trump's girl, Ivanka, and her significant other Jared Kushner, to openly repudiate Trump. Soros' strategies look to part separated countries as well as families. Trump must be alert against the present and future plots of George Soros, including his Purple Revolution.